All right.
Hey, welcome to the Tuesday show. It's been a little while. My name is Ultra David. This is James Chen.
How's everybody going?
Yeah, I beat you to your own punch.
So
So it has been a little while. We didn't do the show last week. The first day was because I forgot to get my car out of the garage, so I couldn't make it. Today I took the bus, so problem solved.
Yep. Oh, jeez. Your cat is trying to eat your food.
Oh yeah, that's right. I got food right here.
Trying to eat your food.
No mac and cheese for you. And then the next day we were just busy, so that'll happen sometimes. We're back. Hopefully we're not going to take any more random breaks.
Yesterday
we'll see. That's right. And then yesterday we didn't do it.
I was exhausted.
Right.
I was sitting at work. I was just like a whole day.
Yeah, I mean it happens. You know, James went to Canada Cup this weekend. That is. Look, let me just cover this up because Kitty really wants a piece of this thing.
Really, come on. Oh, Kitty.
And we'll get to Canada Cup, but that is one of the things that we're going to talk about in a pretty long list of topics today, since it's been a couple weeks.
Yep.
Last week we didn't get to talk about some of the stuff that we have to talk about today.
Mm-hmm.
That's going to include things like the Tokyo Game Show and what happened there.
Yeah.
We'll talk about Canada Cup, like I said. We'll talk about Injustice and the new patch that's come out for it. We'll talk about Smash and Twitch and Evo and all sorts of stuff.
I still would really like to see if we could get to that Daigo Infiltration match.
We have to do that.
Yeah. So at some point, hopefully we'll be able to do that. So
I mean, maybe next Monday or something, we'll finally get at that. Somebody asked me about that on Twitter, and that's definitely something that we want to do.
Yeah, for sure. Because I think both of us have watched it. And we're just like, oh my god, look at that, look at that, look at that.
Look, I took notes before the show Monday.
Really?
Yeah, I had like notes prepared. I just couldn't make it.
Right.
Anyway, I wish that had happened.
Oh, well.
Whatever. So let's talk about the Tokyo Game Show.
Sure. So we can start with
what happened there.
Well, so the nice thing about so Tokyo Game Show, Mad Catz did a Mad Catz Unveiled where they had a bunch of exhibition matches like they normally do, right? And then not only did they have a bunch of matches, do you have the list of which matches there were?
Why, yes, I do. The matches were Daigo versus Infiltration, Tokido versus Justin Wong, Shen versus Kazunoko, Ryan Hart versus Bonchan.
Yo, he is persistent.
Wow,
today.
this cat. You're not getting any, buddy. Sorry. Mago versus Fudo. And then there was also Kayane versus Kamizono in Soul Calibur.
Right. And then the interesting thing is that they had, while it was all going on there, Mad Catz essentially ran the Capcom Cup qualifier event there, right? Which was supposed to be double elimination, but due to time constraints, it was just single elimination.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
I didn't know it was supposed to be double.
Yeah, I think that's what I heard.
Okay.
That's what I heard, and they said due to time constraints that they couldn't do it. So
that is too bad.
yeah, because of some interesting results from that.
So okay, let's start off with the exhibitions because that was a major news item, I would say.
Because the marquee match, let's just jump right to it.
Let's do that.
The marquee match was obviously Daigo Ryu versus Infiltration and Kuma.
Yeah.
Because these guys have met each other several times now.
They have.
Evo 2012, when Daigo was still kind of on his game, he ended up losing to Infiltration in the year that he won it.
Yeah, Infiltration ended up taking that Evo.
Yeah, and so it felt like, it was like, oh, is this like a passing of the baton?
Yeah.
And then even in Evo 20... Well, actually, before that was the 25th anniversary tournament where Daigo beat him 3-0, and everyone's like, oh, everything's right with the world again. It's all good and everything. And then Daigo came in loser's bracket and won 3-0 and 3-0. And just...
Yeah, Infiltration ended up sweeping the grand finals to take it.
Did I say Daigo? Or,
yeah.
Oh, yeah. Infiltration came and took it 6-0. And so everyone was like, oh, wait a minute. Now what's going on?
Yeah.
And then at Evo 2013, they played each other again immediately in loser's bracket. First game, top 8, and Infiltration won that one 2-0 over Daigo. Well, actually, it was 3-0 over 3-1, 3-0.
I don't
remember, but he beat him 3 games. Jesus.
All right, you know what? Let me just
cap it.
I'm putting the cap on this thing. All right, you're not getting any.
Yeah. Okay.
So anyway, they have this long-standing history, and Daigo even kind of fanned the flames because before they played, he talked about how he thought Akuma was a weak character, and he would display to everybody why this is the case, right?
Right.
Akuma,
right. Uh-huh.
everybody else thinks is one of the best characters in the game.
Right.
And we think that he's been one of the best characters in the game in every iteration
right.
of Street Fighter 4. So for Daigo to say that was, it's hard to know whether he was just being inflammatory or what.
I talked to Justin at Canada Cup, and while we were doing commentary at one point, I just quizzed him on that. So I was like, so Daigo said Akuma's weak. What do you think, right? And he was like, that was just talk.
Yeah.
He's like, I talked to Tokido, and Tokido said, yeah, that was just mind games. He was just trying to get into his head and stuff like that. So might have just been some pre-game little.
That's awesome, man. It's really cool to me because
right.
I mean, that's not like what I think about Daigo doing. I think about Daigo showing up with like just blank face and like playing the game, and then he like walks away and he like goes to drink. Like he doesn't have that like persona about him.
Yeah, exactly.
So if he adopts that persona, that'd be awesome.
That'd be so sick.
He'd be even scarier, I think, because that matters for some people.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Some people do get scared off by that. Anyway, let's talk about the actual matches.
Yeah.
So the result was pretty lopsided.
Yeah, something that no one was expecting. I mean, everyone saw Daigo blow up shit.
Yeah.
10-0 at PAX Prime. Right, at that Mad Catz Unveiled. So you would think that Infiltration would be like, okay, I get what Daigo's all about. He preps for these things. He's ready to body people. So I'm going to prepare my best too.
Right.
And they played each other. Everyone was expecting, they did first to 10, so everyone's expecting like 10-7, 10-8, some really crazy matches. But yeah, I went 10-2 in favor of Daigo. And in fact, one of the matches that Infiltration won looked like Daigo was just like goofing around, like almost like, I can't 10-0 Infiltration.
No, he started, I mean, he really did start to get to a place where he was taking risks that even Daigo doesn't usually take. He's a risk taker, Daigo. He will do these like random uppercuts, something he's done in literally every game that he plays.
Right.
But he, at one point, was taking like kind of crazy risks, like really kind of risks. And that's because he was so far ahead. He thought that he had gotten a strong read, and I guess over the long haul he did, maybe not in those individual moments. But a lot of the damage that Infiltration got was from Raging Demon. I mean, it's not like it was consistent, like spacing resulting damage or like frame traps or like things like that. It was just like, here's the demon. So I mean, I feel like 10-2 is maybe not as close as it actually was, as weird as that sounds. I feel like it was more of a base than that. I
don't know. I mean, it's like I said, we'll probably save this all examination because we have like all these thoughts about the match. So, but yeah, that was not the result I was expecting.
No,
not at all. Not at all. I mean, I remember when we were trying to make the predictions, I was like, I might have to give it to Daigo because of what I saw he did, but I don't know. It was pretty crazy. And then, of course, the sad part was Daigo immediately goes to the Capcom qualifier tournament and loses 4 rounds in a row to Kyaibetsu, a.k.a. Cabbage, to Viper, and lost first round.
That was not even top 16.
Yeah, I think that was first round. I think it was first round Daigo was eliminated, did not win a single round against Kyaibetsu.
So, before we get to that, let's just briefly go over the results of the other ones. So, Tokido...
Oh, second round. Everyone's saying second round. So, but yeah.
Tokido beat Justin Wong. That was Akuma versus Rufus, 5-2.
Yeah. And Justin has always said Tokido is his demon.
Yeah.
He's only beaten him once, I think, at a Canada Cup. But outside of that, like, he's always lost to Akuma. So, I mean, lost to Tokido. So, he definitely has problems with him. He considers Tokido a demon of his. So
that makes sense. 5-2. Then Shen beat Kazunoko 5-3.
Nice.
Again, over Yun. And a match that I was really looking forward to was Sagat versus Sagat. Bonchan versus Ryan Hart.
I didn't get to see any of that one.
Oh, it was really good, man. I mean, it was down to the wire. Bonchan took it, but it was 5-4. It was, I think it was last round, or it was obviously almost last round.
Right.
Those two guys, when they play Sagat, are so interesting. I remember... It's funny now because we have people who play Sagat, it seems, again, or at least maybe they're kind of getting more exposure. Bonchan, Ryan Hart, Sanford Kelly have all been making pretty significant noise with that character. But there was a while where you didn't see that character too often.
Yeah, in fact, I mean, outside of those three guys, there's a few of them that play, but those are really the only well-known Sagat players.
But I haven't seen that many Sagats really since Vanilla.
Right.
And I remember in Vanilla, people played that character totally differently. He was, you would sit still, you would just harass people with your normals and with your tiger shots. You would just get crazy damage off of whatever. And he was a simple character who was not mobile.
Yes.
But now they play him so mobily. He is constantly dashing around.
Right.
He's constantly just doing stuff. I love to see that from Sagat. It makes, in my opinion, that character look really fun.
You also watched Bon-Chan this weekend at Capcom Cup.
Yeah, we'll definitely get to that.
Yeah,
that dude was ridiculous.
Yeah.
And then Fudo blew up Mago in a Fey mirror 5-1.
Yeah. And which is funny too, because again, we can go back and talk about what happened in the Capcom Cup qualifier.
Well, let's do that now.
Okay.
Let's do that now.
Sure. So, Capcom Cup qualifier took place, was single elimination, and this was to qualify for the Capcom Cup. So this is one of the qualifiers, probably the hardest one, considering that it did take place in Japan, right? And so, dude, some of those matches towards the end were like ridiculous. I mean, Haitani versus Juso, Makoto versus Sakura might have been candidate for match of the year already. You know, it was super good. But so I mean, if we go down the results,
so first place was it was Haitani with Makoto.
With Makoto, exactly.
Mago with Faye got second. Juso, as you said, Sakura third place. Fudo tied for third, I guess, because it was single elimination. So
yeah.
Then Chocoblanca, Machabo with Faye, Shen with Gen, Bon-Chan with Sagat, and the rest of the top 16 is listed here, so I guess I'll say it. It was Cabbage with Viper, Reinhardt, Sagat, Infiltration, Akuma, Eita with Ryu, Momochi Ken, Mike Ross, Honda, Tokido, Akuma, Justin Wong, Rufus. No Daigo, as we said.
Yeah, he lost apparently second round. So.
And those results are wonky. I mean, look. Chocoblanca is...
Best EG member. Got farther than Momochi and Justin.
I don't want to say that she's not good because she's a very good player.
Yeah.
But I don't know if she's hanging with Shen and Bon-Chan and Fudo and Mago and Haitani and stuff. It's luck of the draw, man. That's how it goes. I know she beat. I think that's a fine matchup for her. That's how single elim goes. It's kind of crazy, and I think that Haitani winning is as crazy too, because he got top 8 with Makoto, and these two at Evo, and those two tournaments I guess make me kind of have to rethink Makoto, but I've always viewed her as a pretty good character who depends on mistakes from the opponent.
Yeah.
It's not like she can make it. It's not like she's some Fei Long. Fei Long stands there and he forces you to do stuff.
Right.
Makoto is like the exact opposite. She stands there and hopes you do stuff and hopes that you do the wrong thing and then she blows you up. I just to win this kind of a tournament is really weird.
Yeah, I mean, it's
single elim. I think is the only explanation.
It's kind of weird because Makoto is one of those characters. Okay, let me state it this way. Makoto is one of those characters that can definitely benefit from a single elimination. Right? It was still 2 out of 3, so people still had the time to figure her out, right? But the thing about it is, even though Makoto can benefit from a single elimination, shorter matches, things, Haitani is a person who will benefit from longer sets. And in fact, in versus Juso and versus Mago, he went down early. And if it was 3 out of 5, he would have lost. But those particular ones, they played to first to 5. So as they got to the end, they extended the sets. And I do believe Haitani was down 2-4 against Juso and had to rattle 3 off in a row to take it. So longer sets definitely benefit the stronger player. And I think since Haitani, I mean, in case you don't know, Haitani is considered one of the 5 gods of Japan, even though that list was just some random forum list.
It's a pretty good list, though.
That. But yeah, the list is still pretty dang good. And he's obviously a very smart player with
no doubt,
with a reputation that is deserved. So definitely benefited him to have the long sets like that.
Well, I'm cool with it because it means that Capcom Cup is going to have some craziness there.
Yeah.
It's not going to be all the characters that I expected.
Yeah, I mean, I love Mago to death, and just seeing how crushed he was after he lost broke my heart, because, I mean, come on, he's Mago-san, right? Nice to meet you. Mago is the best, right? I mean, so to see him crushed like that really kind of hurt, but at the same time, you know, getting a Makoto in the Capcom Cup, I think is like super exciting. So.
And like I said, I guess it's cause for me to have to rethink Makoto a little bit. Maybe she is more of a consistent character than I had thought.
Yep.
I don't know.
Yeah.
We'll see how well he keeps doing with Makoto.
Yeah, but I mentioned earlier that Mago and Fudo beat Mago 5-1 in that exhibition. But when they ran it back in this tournament, Mago ended up beating Fudo 5-2. Oh wow, that was even not as close as I remembered it.
Yeah.
I thought it was like 5-3 or 5-4. But
yeah,
Mago got the run back on that one. They played each other again at Canada Cup actually, and Mago ended up losing that one. So they're like back and forth right now.
That sucks.
So, yeah.
Well, let's take a break.
Sure.
When we come back, I guess since we brought it up, we'll talk about Canada Cup.
Sounds good. All right, be right back.
All right, welcome back to the show, to the Tuesday show. We're talking now about Canada Cup 2013, which just happened this past weekend, and you know a little bit about it. You were there.
Yeah, that's right. And it was fun times, good stuff. Canada Cup still remains probably the second or maybe third hardest tournament to win in Street Fighter 4.
Could be, yeah.
Outside of EVO, right? So, I mean, it's either going to be that or Shadaloo Showdown, because Shadaloo Showdown, a lot of Japanese players got out there as well. But this tournament was pretty stacked. I mean, dude, I tweeted the picture of the KOF bracket. Did you see that?
I did see that, yeah.
The winner's bracket was like a who's who of players there. But yeah, Canada Cup was super fun. I had a great time. Lapchi seriously knows how to treat his guys. I don't know if you saw the stuff that I tweeted as well. So he took us all out to dinner after Sunday.
Really?
He took a picture of the bill. It was $1,500. He then rented limos for everybody to take them to the EXP bar.
Multiple limos?
Yeah, there was like 2 of them at least, I think.
This guy.
And the bill at the end of that was $2,500 at the bar. So he spent $4,000 on food for the players there. At food and drinks, right? Yeah. And the funniest thing about it was, like,
some nutsiness.
He just tweeted today, like, he's like, for this tournament, I'm about minus 18,000. I calculated, right? And everyone was like, well, obviously you bought all that food and drinks for everyone. He's like, that is not taken into account.
What a crazy guy.
Yeah, so this is the power of Chi right here. He lost $18,000 potentially without counting all of that stuff.
Oh my god.
And he basically said, I don't even want to think, because he didn't do this for the previous years. He didn't calculate the totals.
Oh, okay.
And so he's like, I don't even want to think about what the last 3 years are. Because he told me, like, just to fly out the Japanese players was like around like 5 digits, like more than 5 digits.
Oh yeah, I
can
see
Japanese
that.
Players, dude.
Yeah.
So it's crazy. So yeah.
I mean, that's great. It's because of that generosity that we have this event. So I don't know how we can keep it up, but I'm glad that he can, I guess.
Yeah, and definitely shout outs to all the people who did subscribe with the $8.95 and paid. Like, I know I saw MC Statler there. He's on the chat right now, so that's really cool. And they all said it was streamed very well. It was streamed by Slash 500
I watched
from
it
Chaos Gaming. They said that the quality was really good and everything like that. So Angry Mal was there too. So yeah. It was. They all said that they had a great time and really enjoyed watching it. So, you know, hopefully this pattern can continue. Like, people will be more willing to pay in the future and stuff like that. I mean, the chat, definitely, you could tell there weren't a lot of people who paid, because there was definitely not a lot of conversations going on. In fact, I thought there was a glitch for a while, because there was just, like, nothing showing up. Yeah. Which is sad to see, because that just means there's not a lot of people who are subscribing, you know, so.
Not super surprising. It would be nice if it were different, but it's not a big surprise. So, as far as the tournament, as you said, tons of killers were there. Yeah. People from East Asia and from all over North America were there. And it was cool because it wasn't just a Street Fighter 4 tournament, which is not literally how it's been in the past, but kind of, you just think of Street Fighter when you think of Canada Cup. Yeah. But I was really happy to see that, like you said, the KOF tournament was super legit.
It was ridiculous.
But so were the Marvel tournament. The Marvel tournament was really legit. I even enjoyed watching the Injustice tournament.
See, I didn't get to catch any of that. I missed all of that. So
I saw that. Yeah, that's like the one or two of the tournaments that I saw the whole while, whatever they streamed.
Right.
So let's talk about the results.
Sure.
Let's talk about singles first, I guess. In Street Fighter 4, it was Xiaohai with Cammy and Yun, mostly Cammy though.
Yeah.
Bonchan with Sagat, Kazunoko with Yun, Fudo, Fei Long, Jace the Ace with Viper, Dako with Cammy, Ryu, and Ken, and Mago with Faye, Filipino Champ with Dawson.
Right.
I guess we'll go to the 16 because it's here. Chris G with Sakura, Justin Wong with Rufus, Tokido with Akuma, Infiltration with Akuma, Chirithi with Cammy, NGL Chris with Ken, Chaotix Dudley, and PR Rog with Balrog.
Yep. This tournament was pretty much the tournament of Cammy, including the team tournaments, right?
Yeah.
This was the weekend. It was everyone kept calling it Cammy the Cup after a while just because of how dominant she was, right? I've always argued that I didn't consider her a top 3 character. I always thought she was like 4th best, 5th best. After this tournament, it's just like I think she's 3rd best now. I do. So she's broken top 3 for me. Fei Long. So
Faye, Akuma, Faye.
Yeah, Akuma, Faye.
Okay,
Akuma,
I can't argue too much with
that.
that.
Yeah. Those 3 are going to be whatever order, but at this point, it's getting ridiculous now. So it's.
I remember when 2012 came out, and I thought that Cammy was just a top 10 character. I don't know what I was thinking. Like, I feel like usually I can predict decently well, like how well a character is going to end up, but sometimes I just get it totally ass wrong. And that was definitely a case where I got it wrong.
Yeah, I mean, that character right there, it just really comes down to is they just gave her too many combos. Like, the fact that they changed it so that her low jab recovered faster so that it could link into all the different moves, it's just, it changed too much. It changed too much. Like, honestly, at this point, I feel like she should go back to her super and her vanilla status where if she hits you with low short, the best she could do is low short, low jab, stand jab drill.
Sounds great.
Because then you can't dizzy. But
and Street Fighter Cross Tech and dive kick.
Yeah, well, you know what? I mean, okay.
Please.
Look, so they gave her the Tiger Knee Cannon Strike back.
In Ultra.
In Ultra, that's what they said, right? Uppercut FADC back is going to become the new thing, which benefits Cammy more than anybody else, right? So if they don't nerf her combos, she's going to be like, she's not even going to be number 1. She's going to be like she's going to be like 0.0 because 1 is too low of a number for her to go, right? Yeah. But I was talking to certain people there, and someone told me that like Tiger Knee Cannon Strike is going to be like really delayed. So it's
it is going to be like cross tech. I was just joking.
So even dive kick on the top of your head, I think it's going to be like cross tech, and she might as well explode in the sky. Because I think that's what's going to happen to her. So
because I mean, it's not like it's just that she deals big damage in combos. It's that she has frame traps, the ambiguous cross-up setups. Right. Even if it's not unblockable, she still gets some ambiguous stuff. She has better normals than she should. So it's like all these things.
I have heard, though, I've heard that the lowest point, Tiger Knee Cannon Strike, like even the regular, just the EX one is supposed to be the same, but apparently the regular one, at the lowest point, is like going to be uppercuttable, like if you block
on reaction. Oh, really?
Yeah, just block an uppercut.
Well, I don't want it to be completely useless, but I guess whatever.
I don't know. I don't know what's going to happen there.
Because that means that like dive kick from way up top is just going to be horrendous.
It's going to be like minus
ultra
20.
Punishable.
Right, exactly. So I don't know.
All right,
exactly
well, we'll
what's
see.
Happen,
but let's talk about this tournament. Like you said, it was Cammy. Tournament of Cammy. Dude, Grand Finals was really good. But I was so rooting for Bonchan to win that. Who wasn't rooting for the...
Had to do
you
so
must have been.
much work.
Were you rooting for Bonchan?
I was 100% rooting for Bonchan.
Even this guy.
He was doing so much work.
Yeah.
And there's that one point where he did towards Roundhouse and Cammy did Tiger Knee EX Cannon Strike. And, like, I don't know how the hitboxes aligned, but, like, the kick just went right through her.
I remember
it didn't even hit her, and I was like, this is the most ridiculous thing I've ever
That
seen.
matchup is not easy.
Dude.
Sagat's mid-range game is really good against some characters, really bad against others. It's interesting how that works out like that, but it's bad against Cammy. And he doesn't have the damage to make it up. Yeah. His defense is bad against her.
Dude, when that match started... Like, when I was doing commentary for it, I said right at the beginning, I was like, even though Xiaohai has to win 2 sets, I give him the favorite. And after he won one game and 1 round, I even said, I think this is going to go 6-0. Like, that's how bad I think the Cammy Sagat matchup really, honestly is. Because even in vanilla, I thought Cammy beat Sagat if it wasn't for Sagat's ridiculous damage. Just in terms of what they did, I felt like Cammy shut him down, but it was just like you make one mistake and you die, right? And that's why when Super came out, I always tell the story. I told myself I will never lose to a Sagat again. And dude, Sagat just like hasn't really changed much, and Cammy got like scarier, and so that's why by the time they got to Xiaohai and Bonchan, I was like, I wouldn't be surprised if Bonchan went 0-6. He almost did. He went 0-5.
Yeah, 0-3 to reset, then 0-2, and then he battled back. But I never really thought that the outcome was in that much doubt.
The weirdest thing about it, too, was that when Kazunoko played Xiaohai, he blew him up. He just destroyed him with Yun dive kicks. So, I mean, honestly, this game pretty much might as well just be Street Fighter dive kick, you know? I mean,
yeah. Good job to Jace the Ace for being the only... Oh, and also Filipino Champ, never mind. The 2 North Americans to be in the top 8. That's really cool for Filipino Champ because it's only recently that he's really started to take Street Fighter seriously again.
Right,
so
right.
He got up there with a character who I don't think is very good, and he's only recently taken the game. So good job to him. He's played well. Infiltration, no top 8. But let's talk about Street Fighter 4 Team Tournament.
yes.
Which was really the highlight. It's not too often that you see Street Fighter 4 top 8 start on at 10 a.m. on Sundays. And it was Street Fighter 4 to start off that early, then Marvel, or then KOF, then Marvel. And that was because they were saving the team tournament for last, because it's the highlight. So Team Japan, they won it. It's not that big a surprise. It was Mago with Fei, Tokido with Akuma, Fudo also with Fei, Kazunoko with Yun, and Bonchan with Sagat.
They actually allowed repeat characters. Because if you remember, Mago previous year had to use Adon.
I remember that, yeah.
He was using Adon because Fudo was on the team. So
yeah, and Bonchan was on the team, so Sagat was gone for him too.
Dude, so obviously the highlight of the team tournament. Well, there's 2 highlights, right?
Okay. So
there's a low light and a highlight.
So Northeast Asia got second.
Yes.
That was Xiaohai, Dako with DJ, Infiltration, Ken Suzong with Rose, Mad Catz with Guy. Canada got 3rd place with Josier, Blanca, Air, Street 11, and Chirithi.
Yeah.
And USA got 4th. That was Ricky, PR Rog, Justin, Chris G, Filipino Champ, and then Team Canada 3 and Team Canada 2.
Right. So obviously one of the big surprises was Team Canada 1. I mean, they beat Team USA.
In a manner of speaking.
Quote they. But it was really Chirithi who OCV'd the entire team.
Right.
And the US beat 3 guys. Chirithi jumped on there and beat 5 straight.
Yeah, Ricky started off. He beat Gen, he beat Street 11, then Lapchi Blanca, then Air with Ryu. And then Chirithi just blew everybody up.
Yep.
He just tore through it.
Like I said, it was Canada Cup weekend.
Yeah.
So, yeah, she steamrolled everybody. And especially in a situation where you don't get 2 out of 3. Like, I can't even imagine.
Yeah.
That makes it that much harder, right?
Right.
So,
and I kind of feel like the American team was not the best to deal with Cammy. Like, you got Balrog in there, but you also got Dawson, 2 Rufuses, and a Sakura, and that's like...
Someone actually said that they probably would have been better off getting Jace the Ace on the team.
Yeah, I could see that.
But there was supposed to be a second U.S. team. There was supposed to be Jace the Ace, NGL Chris, NGL Brent, somebody else, and Flo.
Right.
But one of those 5 people, not going to name any names, decided not to wake up and show up in the morning on Friday. And
Is
so
that what happened?
Yeah, so that 7th team got eliminated.
I didn't know that.
They should have just put me on there, dude.
Why not?
I mean, obviously, I would have OCV'd a bunch of teams.
Yeah, who knows?
But as I joked about in the tournament, after everything went down the team tournament, I almost somehow kind of feel like Canada might have been better off not beating US because of what happened afterwards.
I
mean, let's just put it this way. After they beat Team US, like some people on the Canada team were crying. Like they were so happy. They were so happy they actually beat Team US, and it was like we're on the map kind of thing and all this other stuff, right? But then they went up against Team Northeast Asia.
Yeah, that was definitely a big moment, I would say. So Dako surprised everybody by picking DJ earlier in the team tournament, and it was character locked. So once you go with the character, you're stuck with them. DJ started things off for Team Northeast Asia. That was in Losers Finals versus Team Canada. He started off against Josier, won. Lapchi, won. Street 11, won. Air, Chirithi, both of them down. It was a sweep for Dako DJ.
Now, okay, one, to be fair, that team is very poorly designed to fight DJ.
I totally disagree.
You think so? Look,
Yeah.
Blanca was the big hope. Blanca should have been the one that killed DJ. 100%.
I think Vega beats that character. I think Cammy rips that character up.
Yes. Well, that fight... Okay, yeah, anyways.
Oh, I know. Actually, you know what? I guess that's not true. I shouldn't have said that. I think that he actually can fight Cammy. But I think that Ryu kills that character, so it's fine. I feel like there are 3 good characters, and I don't even know how Gen... I'm not going to pretend that I know how Gen versus DJ goes.
Right.
I have no idea. I imagine probably Gen wins, but who knows? But the major problem was that they didn't know how to fight DJ.
They had no idea what was punishable.
You could totally see it. It wasn't just the punishability. It was things like, if DJ throws a max out, they would just jump over. That happened a lot. Look, here's the thing about DJ. He is an illusion. He has the illusion of control in front of him. He really doesn't. His normals are not very fast. They're not that great.
He doesn't have that ST priority on his moves.
No, he definitely does not have that. And he has the illusion of a wake up. If you see his EX up kicks, it looks like, oh man, I should leave that alone. But you get free low media attacks under it.
Yeah.
It's like and you know, a lot of characters are built, or at least people are used to doing cross ups as people get up, and they're like, oh, I'm gonna try this late cross up because that gets through dragon punches. But DJ eats that. EX up kicks eat that. But you could see them doing all these things.
Yeah.
So these are all really good players. But
who has the experience against DJ?
I think you have to have the experience against DJ at this point.
Well, this game
is 5 years old.
This is the problem with 39 character game, right? Because you just get to the point where, especially because most of the DJs you fight aren't very strong players, right?
Yeah, they're really only a few.
You can blow them up pretty badly, right? Usually with DJ. But then you put DJ in the hand of Dako, and you saw them play that random tournament earlier.
He was ridiculous.
Dude, he just knows how to use every character in the book, right? And so when you get someone who knows how to use DJ, you can't rely on just whatever okie dokes to beat him anymore.
Right.
You have to have the character knowledge. The thing about it is, how many times are you going to run into a person of Dako's caliber playing DJ? Like, never.
Okay, I mean, fair enough. But I feel like you have to know that you can do a media attack underneath the EX up kicks.
Right.
I feel like you should know more or less where his normals go. And that you shouldn't... Like, you should probably know about the fact that Jump Toward Fierce is one of the best air-to-air normals in the game. Like, you're not going to get past this thing in the air.
Right.
But they were trying these things. And even towards the end, Chirithi was still doing some of that stuff. Air had done some of that stuff. Yeah. Even after seeing Josier, Lapchi, Street 11 lose to it. It was confusing to me because I have a lot... Air is one of my favorite players. I really like that dude.
Right.
Chirithi did great. He's a really strong player. Josier in the past has done great. So I was like looking for them to do more. They didn't. It was surprising.
But yeah, it definitely was a shock when that happened. Because, first of all, when Dako played DJ in the first day, everyone was like, whatever, he's trolling everybody, right? And then he played him, and so everyone's like, oh, maybe we get to see what DJ does. I mean, let me ask you this question. Does this change your mind at all about DJ? Do you still think he's, like, easily bottom 3?
He's definitely a bottom 5 character.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, for sure. Look, it's just because of lack of character familiarity. Plus, as you said, Dako is a really good player.
Yeah.
It's those two things combined.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
But it was really cool because one of our friends is a big DJ player.
Yeah.
And he was pretty excited to see that. But even he was saying on like Facebook and stuff, he was like, these guys don't know how to play.
Right.
So like even he was recognizing, even as he was cheering for his character, he was like, that shouldn't have worked.
I mean, honestly, like there's something to be said when you play a character and you see someone winning with them in a way that they probably shouldn't be winning. It's kind of irritating in a way.
Yes, it is.
Because you're just like, he shouldn't be getting away. I don't get away with this stuff, right? Like why? So yeah, it's definitely a frustration factor there, but.
That was Losers Finals.
Yeah.
It was a blow-up. And then in Grand Finals, it was Northeast Asia versus Japan. Pretty good set, actually. It was Fudo taking out Rose, Kensuzong Rose. Then he took out DJ as well. Xiaohai came in, beat Fudo, beat Mago.
Yeah, that's when everyone was like, "Oh, here we go again."
Exactly. Yeah, it looked like it was going to be another Kami set.
But Tokido
beat him.
Which I can at least say that it still stands by my belief that Akuma is even, or at least better, in that matchup.
Oh, fair enough.
Especially because Tokido's had a lot of Sako practice.
Okay.
So I still think that fight is even for Kami at best.
Okay,
so.
all right. Tokido then beat Mad KOF with Guy. Wait, is this Grand?
Yeah, that's Grand Finals. Yeah.
Grand.
He used Guy.
Yeah.
So.
And then Tokido beat Infiltration in the very end. Rematch of Evo Losers Finals with the same outcome.
Yep.
Tokido winning.
Yep.
So.
Yeah, and Tokido, dude.
I mean, Winners Finals was really fun too. That was okay. Let's see. Fudo beat Mad KOF. Then he beat Dako. Then he beat Kensuzong. Then he beat Xiaohai. And then Infiltration came in. So Team Japan has all these players left. Infiltration came in, beats Faye both times, Fudo and Mago. And then I was really confused as to why they didn't put Kazunoko in. Because I think Yun beats Akuma, and I think he's the best Yun. Yeah. So it was confusing to me. But whatever. I mean, they put in Bonchan Sagat, and he won.
Yeah,
so
he did it anyway.
Okay,
so no, that one was really weird. I remember when I was doing commentary, I was like it was just like, okay, let's just throw him in there
because they had a few chances.
Yeah.
After Fudo lost, I was like, all right, it's definitely Kazunoko.
Yeah, exactly.
And then it was Mago, and then I was like, definitely Kaz, and then it was Bonchan.
Right, exactly.
I guess
I think me and Gutex were cracking up because we were like, it's either going to be Kazunoko or Tokido. They're talking to each other, trying to decide which one of them to go. And then Bonchan walked up, and the two of us just like laughed because it was so weird.
So that was Street Fighter 4. Just before we break, I want to talk about Marvel because it was. Well, what's up? Do you want to take a break?
Do you want to talk about that? Because I mean, that game and Cross Tekken were both like really good. Right?
Let's take a break.
So, okay, cool. We'll be right back then. And in a second, let me see. Trying to do new things here. Okay, be right back.